I'm your host, Jamie Kirby, and today I'm drinking uh, an English breakfast tea, and I've got it in my teapot. And I actually have a tea cozy because we're doing things the proper way. And I just realized that I didn't bring my teacup into the office this morning, so I better go grab one. I usually have one around the office somewhere. Oh, okay, here's one. Have one here. It's so funny because I don't think of myself as like, I don't know. I don't think that many people who I don't I don't know. I have lots of sides to me, and being all twee with teacups doesn't seem like something I would have thought I would be doing as an adult. And yet some of it tracks too. Like I was all into crafts when I was a kid. I liked cake decorating. I also liked having fun and playing with boys, and I mean, when I was a kid, not you know what I mean. I mean, riding bikes around the neighborhood, that kind of thing. So I'm just adding some creatine to my tea instead of sugar, but it makes me feel like I'm putting sugar in it or something. Remember, when you're stirring your tea, it's always back and forth like this. See, like that. Because it makes less clanking noise, and it also makes your sugar dissolve faster. So I think there's something about using right angles as opposed to just swirling that makes it go faster. There's something to that. The blend tech has square sides, and I think it helps it blend better. I don't know. I don't know the physics of it, but there you go. All right, so this weekend we had Halloween. My husband and I finished watching Smallville, which made me sad, but also it was, what more could you ask for than 10 years of a great series that ended really well? Then let's see. I made gnocchi over the weekend, and I and the very least of which, or not the very not the very least of which, I gave myself bangs because it's time. Every time I cut bangs, I have almost an immediate regret, and then it's a matter of, like, growing them back out, but I'm liking them right now, so I'm sticking with them. No choice now, like, once you do it, that's that. You're sort of you're committed, but I have a good feeling about it this time. I would love to know what you guys do over the weekend. Get me caught up. Tell me what was exciting and great for you. I'm going to make sure that I can see the chat right here. And yeah, when you get here, say hello. All right. This morning, I'd like to talk about this idea. I was talking with my sister about it. And the question I have is, are you haggling with God? I thought that was a kind of provocative title, but also I feel like we do that a lot. So what happens is when I remember when I was a mom, well, a young mom and had young kids, and when I was younger and when I belonged to a certain religion, I had I had a whole I had a whole equation worked out, and it was an equation that was not just mine that I came up with, but it was also kind of placed there by others. But it's this idea that if I do all these things that are good, then I can have things that I want or things that I need. And And I think when you're in that paradigm, what happens is you like for me, I was very good at doing what I was told to do because I believed that it would keep me safe and I believed it would get me the things that I wanted. And so all I had to do was be good. And oh, and then, if I went on a mission for my church, then that was good. And I realized at the time it wasn't like this straight shot sort of equation or whatever, but it still crept up there. You were still sort of doing mental math, even though it wasn't it wasn't suggested, or it was certainly, at in church, they said it's not arithmetic here. It's you just it doesn't work like that. But even so, there was probably still some kind of a tally going on in my head. If all I had to do was be good, and then if I was good or I did certain things, then I believed I was allowed to ask for things that I wanted. Or yeah, that was kind of the whole gist of it. Like, if you're not being good, how dare you ask God? Or they never said it quite like that. If you're not keeping the commandments, what right do you have to ask for more or whatever? You have to do your part. So there was a built-in kind of deal worked out. So it was like always a deal. I'll do this, you do this for me. And then, of course, it was this idea that we would always be in debt because God would always send us blessings, even though we didn't deserve them, or even though they didn't really quite say it like that in the faith I was raised in, but it was something close. I mean, we may not have said it in those words, but it felt like that. And so one of the things that in my faith, it was like you could being a mother was like the highest and holiest calling. And so when I was a mom and we couldn't pay the bills, I could pray and say, "Hey, we need to pay the bills. I need your help." And then it was like I believed that because I was doing what God or the Lord wanted me to do, that he would help me. And I got a lot of help and I did pretty well. But now that my kids are grown, and not only that, but like I have a husband, somehow it's like now I feel like, oh, well, I have all these good things. I have a husband, so I shouldn't ask God or the universe for help to be safe because I already have somebody keeping me safe. And um oh, and to boot, now I'm no longer in the church, and so I don't really deserve to ask for those things anyway. And now that the kids are gone, I don't really deserve like what business do I have asking for more? Well, so and that's where the haggling, like, are you haggling with God? And so I was talking to somebody recently who all of the kids are out of the house, and this person is not living the life that's meant for her. Like she feels, I mean, she is, because we are where we are, and that's perfectly good. Where we are is our own kind of perfect in each moment. And I get that because we're going to learn, but maybe it's about learning that we're allowed to allow in more things, even if um, we're not serving our kids or something. Because when I the faith I was raised in, it was very much like service, which is great, but it's like, um, for me, it's almost like in a way the clock timed out because the clock timed out and I left the job and now I don't deserve any kind of pay and I've sort of put myself on the outside. Pay is the wrong word, but you get what I mean. I feel like I've cut myself off from any kind of support. I mean, clearly I have support, right? From the universe or whatever, but It's that extra little bit where I really wouldn't, would really like to see synchronicities and more things falling into place. I'm either not seeing them or I'm somehow believing that I don't deserve them because I'm not like raising 3 little kids by myself. And somehow that in my in my belief system meant that I was allowed to ask for more help, or I was more deserving because I was more in trouble or more vulnerable or something like that. But what if this is a concept I've been thinking about this weekend? What if we are just unconditionally supported by creation, the universe, God, because we, each individual, have our own purpose here. And yeah, sometimes that might be part of that purpose, might be being a parent or doing something a little bit more service based and um, somehow serving the world in some way. Um, and maybe it does a lot, but maybe we are supposed to be somebody who serves a ton of people, but maybe we're just supposed to be doing a great job where we are and smiling to people and making them feel good, or who knows. My point is that what if we are all unconditionally deserving of support from God and the universe? And what if all the support and things that we require and need are always being poured out on us at all times, but we separate ourselves out and we say, "Oh no, we can't because I'm not doing this thing. I'm not earning my keep, or I'm not doing what's right, or you know, I don't deserve these things that I'm asking for because I'm not, fill in the blank." So I think sometimes I found that, when I was talking to this person and also myself in the past, it seemed like in a way I was haggling, like, okay, well, I've got to do this difficult thing so that I can do so that I can have the blessings or the things that I want. I have to I have to do X, Y, and Z before I could ever dare to ask or hope for ZYX, right? And I think that's what I mean by like the haggling. So we're like, "Oh, if I do this, then I'll be allowed. Then God will give me something." So it's kind of this struggle, or this we're trying to make a deal with God all the time when maybe God or creation or the universe is just up there going, "Yeah, it's yours. Just open your eyes, or just look. It's right there. I've already given it to you. Just look. Just believe that you're allowed." So that's my thought for today. If you're haggling with God, or you're believing that you're only deserving if you're kind of turning yourself into a pretzel in some way or another, perhaps the real truth is we are just supported unconditionally because we are loved, not because we have to prove ourselves in any specific way. And then from that, from that place where we sit in that knowledge of unconditional love and unconditional support, and knowing that we belong, that we're allowed to be here, that we're supposed to be here, and that we exist, and because we exist, we are supported. If we come from that place of love, that place of confidence, that place of just knowingness, if we can be in that place, then from that place we can express whatever it is that is our passion, whatever it is that is our mission or the reason that we're here. And sometimes that will look like service. But rather than having it backwards, where we have to do this thing in order to earn this stuff back, maybe we just start from that place of unconditional support and unconditional knowing. And maybe that's a stronger, more powerful place to come to with which to share that message or whatever it is, maybe that it may be that you're sharing with the world. Okay, let's do a little. I'm going to do, I think we're going to do a tarot pull, but with the Seasons of the Witch oracle right here. I'm going to have some of my tea. I'm going to pour this because it's all nice and hot still because I've been using my tea cozy. Oh, goodness. And then there it is. And I'm going to add more milk and I'm going to add more creatine. Oh, also, guess what? I'm also making sourdough bread right now. I feel like I'm on top of things this weekend. There's something on the bottom of the cup. That's weird. Okay, I'm going to go grab, let's see. Oh, we'll do these. We'll do this one. We'll do the Star Maiden Tarot along with the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle. All right. That'll be fun. Let me get this party started. I've been trying to live by the words, don't put it down, put it away. It only took me to age 49 to try to live by those rules. Still working on it. Got a lot of stuff that I haven't put away in a long time. Like trash on my desk, tea bag things on my desk. Oh, golly. All right. I'm just having fun here while no one's watching. I hope someday somebody watches and maybe gets something out of this. But for now, I'm just glad that I'm showing up here for me. That's another concept too that I'd like to talk about is the showing up, not for anyone else, but for yourself. And I'm showing up for me because I'm enjoying this. And I like to imagine that there's thousands of you that are tuning in every morning or later to watch these little morning tea talks with me. All right. We need a question. So let me close my eyes and just reflect for a moment. If you ever have a question, please put it in the comments. And even if you're not on live with me, ask the question and it'll be on one of the upcoming programs. For now, it will be on tomorrow's program if you put it in the comments today. Let's see. My question for the tarot is, please show me the way to stand in my, okay, it was sort of more of a vibe that I'm getting. So please show me a way to stand and be in a receiving state of mind, state of being, so that I can receive all that creation wants to give me. Okay. Please show me how to stand in my, how do I want to say it? Please show me how to stand in my own self, own skin, and receive all that is meant for me. Okay. Got it? All right. Please show me the way to stand so that I can receive all that has already been given. Ooh, I like it that way. All right. Please show me. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to say it again. I just said it perfectly. So rewind if you need it. Okay. All right. We got these beautiful blue shimmery edged cards, and the deck wants to open right there. Oh my gosh, interesting. That's not the card for the pull, but it's the one that was on the top of the deck. Like, so when I broke it open, it was like that. It's a 6 of Pentacles. That keeps coming up. If a card keeps coming up, it's a nice idea to keep exploring that card and see what it means to you. Okay, so, we're doing this a little bit differently. So I'm going to pick, we've got Queen of Wands for past. And then Justice for next steps. And now we go to the Seasons of the Witch, which I should have done in a different pattern. Okay. Okay, these beautiful orange cards. All right, and present moment. It's a witch's gathering. Okay. Interesting that we're talking about God and witches in the same discussion. I think that a witch is anyone who creates magic for themselves and others, and that could be a good thing or a not so good thing. I think everything has two sides, and you can make it mean something bad if you want, but you don't have to. You can always make something good. All right. All right, witches gathering. So remember, the question is something along the lines of, please show me how to stand firm, like stand as myself, how to be in a state of myself and receive all that has already been given instead of holding it away. Okay, so keywords are loyalty, faith, friendship, and cooperation. Gather in power, come together in grace. Unity is rising, and all will be embraced. Oops, sorry. There we go. Your higher self chose this card because it is a good omen of friendship and renewed connection. This is a positive sign for you if you're seeking to reconnect with a lost friend or a lover. Take steps to reach out, as your reunion will result in a joyful and positive experience. Interesting, because we were just talking about standing. I mean, I was saying standing alone, but standing your ground as yourself and being. Witches gathering is also a great sign if you're seeking new relationships, either intimate or platonic. There are people who are just your kind of people, and you will likely go on to build rewarding, loyal, and long lasting relationships with any new people entering your life at this time. Seek people who share your values and interests. You may be surprised to find there are many people who understand you on a deep soul level, who have been looking for someone just like you to occupy room in their lives. This card also brings an important message. Relationships are not to be taken lightly, and they require care and attention. It's important to make time for the people who are most important to you, because they need your love and support just as you need theirs, and maybe even more. This card guides you to say yes to as many social invitations as possible. Hmm. How many times do we like pass over on social engagements? There are people who are very eager to meet you, and you never know when a party or a night at a bar with a friend can change your life. It's even more critical for new relationships that are fragile and just beginning to take shape. If you're feeling vulnerable, it's safe to say others might be feeling something similar. Making time and doing your best confirms your desires to have others around you and will go a long way in showing how much you care. Okay. So, I'm what a great message that is. I know I'm I often don't nurture relationships as much as I could. And I think I'm realizing a lot of times I just think, "Oh, I'm just being a nuisance, they don't want me." Well, that's something to unpack. And I think I've mentioned that here before. So, that's probably not a true statement. And when I was kind of listening to this guy Peter Crone, it almost would suggest that maybe I'm thinking that people don't want to be with me because I'm sort of creating that world, and it becomes true because you believe it and then you sort of create it, and there's confirmation bias, and it just keeps building to the point where you're often just your world is now created by the thing that you believe. And so I could reach out to more friends. Also, in the light of receiving what you already have, I know for me, I probably have a lot more friends than I actually a lot more friendships than I actually nurture. So, this is a reminder to me for sure. And if it's a reminder for you, that's wonderful. I hope you take something from that. All right. The roots, Queen of Wands. Okay. So, where's that coming from, that message? That's what the roots means to me often. Like, what was the root of why is it telling me to make friendships and nurture friendships? And I'm going to go over to Queen of Wands to see what it says. Okay. Queen of Wands. They put king before queen in here because they make queen the best one or something. Save the best for last. Okay. The Queen of Wands tells you to let your tells you to let your light shine and be unapologetic in who you are. The Queen of Wands is a vibrant, energetic being who has stepped into her power and harnesses it, symbolized by the flower in her hand. She isn't afraid to fully express herself and her needs. She is accepted and has become familiar with all sides of herself, light and shadow, not hiding anything from the world. She stands strong in who she is and has the power to inspire and instill courage in others. As you let your light shine, you grant others the permission to do the same. As you become more open to the world opens up to you. So that's a really cool message around that. And for me, the roots, what I like about this is it's kind of showing me like past. So my present, it's like, hey, maybe it's time to, take a look at your relationships. It's an invitation for that. And then this is kind of saying, yeah, because you've been working on yourself for a long time. And I have. Like, I've been doing a lot of inner work and I've been doing a lot of figuring things out. But sometimes that causes me to, when I'm doing a lot of inner reflection, I tend to stop or I put the brakes on a little bit. I'm not always like reaching out to others because I'm doing so much inner work. It just, the time sort of runs out and I'm not reaching out, but maybe this because I've reached maybe this for me, I'm interpreting it as, hey, you've been doing a lot of inner work for a long time and it's ready to start sharing that with others. And maybe think that instead of you're imposing on people and they don't want to be around you, what if you started to live in a world? What if you chose to live in a world where people do want you around and you are welcome in every room you step into? All right. For next steps, justice. Let's look at this. So justice is number 11. You know how I like the number 11. Maybe you don't. I do. I like the number 11 a lot. Like there's 1111 and then there's my 11s society that I'm working on. Justice signals to balance. A positive outcome will follow a rebalance of past errors. Karma is being worked out and balance is being restored. Justice calls for you to walk in integrity, honesty, and accountability. If there is an important decision that needs to be made, take all sides into account and make a fair judgment. Justice searches for truth. The sword symbolizes intuition and the mind, which are the strengths of the sword suit and the element of air. Okay, interesting. I think it's interesting because we started the conversation talking about haggling with God and trying to balance, but maybe the balance could be within ourselves. Balance between introspection and friendships and being connected to other people. Maybe it's a balance of that, and it's a balance of also like charging your batteries, being who you're meant to be, and allowing all that source has for you, allowing that all in and embodying that love, embodying that grace, embodying all the power that creation has for you because you are an extension of creation. It's who you are. And it's about trusting and knowing that you are fully supported and having confidence in that. And then reaching out to others. You can reach out to others all along the way, but once you kind of reach that point where you have been doing a lot of introspection, it's time for the balance and then to go out and share it with others, not like as some sort of mission, but just being there and being there to support your friends and allowing them to support you. Because a lot of how we're supported by creation in the universe is the friendships that we do have. So allow your friends to be there for you, allow them to love you and be there. And then, keep that in mind as kind of a balance. And it's more about the balance of allowing things in and choosing the life you want to live rather than haggling with the universe to try to get the universe, to get to a point where you're deserving of the things that you need or want and believing that you're not worthy of them because you're not in a certain place in your life in some way. You're not, just because you're not like laying down your life for someone else right now. So let that perhaps that's it's an invitation to allow things to be in balance and let's see what else. I haven't gotten this card very much, so I'm going to pull one card as a kind of clarification card. Oops. That just dropped. And I'm going to just pull this one right here. Okay. Actually, no, I'm not. Okay. I don't do that very often. Like pull a card and go, that's not it. That's not the one. but I didn't shuffle it, to be fair. Okay, so we're going to do one clarification. Okay. It's this one again, the molasses card. All right, I'm going to read about that. So number 26. Okay, to move forward, you must know where you are headed. Okay. I don't know about this one, guys. I was, I think, okay, listen, here's the thing with tarot. Sometimes it was, sometimes if you're looking for more, maybe you don't need the more, you just need to sit with what you had. So this is going to be, so this justice card, this balance card, I'm going to actually read what it says in here. I'm just going to go back to here and we're going to look at this again. We're just going to look at, I'm going to dig in just a little bit more instead of trying to clarify with extra cards. Sometimes that's the right thing to do. Today, it doesn't feel like it's the right thing to do. Okay. The consequences of past actions come due and things are fair, whether or not we think they are. This card can indicate legal matters. If you're dealing with the court system, it's likely that justice will prevail. It's also an indicator of choice. Weigh your options carefully. Aim for a fair decision. Seek balance. Justice demands truth, and this card can be a not so gentle nudge to remain completely honest in all your dealings. Okay. So, with this card, I think the story is I think the story is really just to be honest about yourself and know when to balance reaching out towards others and knowing when to reflect internally. Now, this is an interesting thing because this is an interesting thing about tarot in general. Okay. Now, every person, whether you're talking to a doctor or a therapist or I don't know, a teacher, a fireman, I don't know. Everyone on the planet has their own biases, okay? Everyone has their own beliefs that they're going to push towards. Now, for me, I have my own bias against, well, not against this card. It is what it is, but it doesn't really tell me much about, it's like, yeah, okay, balance, fine. Or yeah, justice, fine. But like sometimes I shy away from things like this that are like the sword of truth, like comes down with this strong, you know, swing to you know, conquer all or something. I was raised to be honest. I'm a very honest person. And yet, usually, if somebody's lying to me, I figure they have their own reasons for lying to me. So like, and I figure everyone has also, I see the world as everybody is living by their own truth. You may think that someone's lying to you, but to them, it's perfectly honest because it's the belief that they have within themselves. And so, for me, I'm always like, well, they have their own reasons. And so sometimes when something comes in and there's a card that's all about sort of more of a black and white kind of a thing, then I push back a little bit. So this is what I'm telling you about tarot. Everybody has their own bias. So, if you're looking for a tarot reader that's going to be a good fit for you, you might want to know what their biases are. Mine, Brooke Andrioli, I love her because her bias is always to the positive and for giving a lot of latitude, but she's mostly just in a place of love all the time. So we're going to leave the reading where it is. I will say, if you're curious, I did pick that molasses, and that one's all talking about laziness and everything. And it's like, I don't want to tell people, like, just don't be lazy, but I will read it for anyone that's curious. And you can choose to keep it or not. That's another thing, too. You always have a choice. If a card doesn't really resonate with you, you don't have to like take steps that the card is saying. That's that's perfectly okay. It's like I said in the Matrix, when Neo is told that he is not the one, the Oracle told him that because the best way for him to become the one was for him to be able to believe he had the choice to say that he wasn't the one and to believe that he wasn't. And that allowed him the space that he needed to become who he needed to be. So you never know. Sometimes a card will come up, like a card like this. To me, this is a neutral and maybe not so exciting. But I will go back to this. Okay, so I'll go back to my original question, which was, please show me how to stand and be myself and receive all that is meant for me. If you think of it as more of everything's balanced, it's all equal. I don't have to like haggle. I can just stand. It's not a payback. It's more everyone's equal and we're all entitled to receiving. We don't have to prove anything. That might be a way to look at it as well. But for curiosity, on the molasses card, this is what it says. Your higher self chose this card because molasses represents a period of uncertainty when the path ahead isn't clear, and despite your best efforts, you simply cannot seem to move forward. Standing still is very frustrating, but you're in this period of pause so that you can take some time to get a full understanding of where you actually want to go. This card will also hang on. This card will often visit you after a period of significant but unintentional action. You may have made choices in haste of late and are coming to regret some of your decisions. Perhaps you said yes too quickly and now you wish to back out, or a situation seems like a worthy gamble but is now turning out to be a nightmare. It may not seem like it now, but this period of indecision is helping you to slow down, gain perspective, be patient, and wait for the right opportunity to find you. In the meantime, focus on diving deeper into your spirit. Are there mundane tasks you could focus on while you aren't distracted by other things? Perhaps you might consider a practice such as a meditation to take your mind off of your current problems. You will find that the stickiness goes away when the time is right for things to move forward again. This card also advises you not to make any hasty decisions right now. Take care of what you need to, of course, but delay any life decisions and move and but delay any life decisions until more information comes to hand. Okay, there we go. Well, so there's a lot to think about, and perhaps this reading was a little bit for me and a little bit for other people. So I might have my own take, but you might be like, "Oh, that is so clear and so obvious to me." And maybe you have a different question that you came to this this episode with, and maybe your question wasn't anything like the one I just asked. And maybe these were the cards that worked for you. You never know. So, I hope you all have a wonderful November 3rd. and we are plowing right into the end of fall and into the Christmas season, and I'm so excited. Thanks for being here with me this morning, and I I may use this time actually to shift the time that I meet to 7:30 a.m. just because it's a little bit earlier, it's more before work for me, and then it might allow more people on the rest of the in the rest of the country to tune in at a better time. And also, I just think it just feels like the right thing to do. And right after this time change, I can use this to my benefit and sort of springboard it into an earlier time and make it a little bit easier on myself. I think you're all wonderful. Thank you for being here, and I hope to meet with you again tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. And one day I'm going to stick the landing. I'm going to have something more exciting to say at the end. Okay. Bye.